Hey, what's up, everybody? You are on Shaping Your New Start Education Podcast. I'm so glad that you're here. Listen, we're about to begin, and we have an awesome guest. We have a wonderful guest for you today, and we'd love for you to share the video. We'd love for you to go to YouTube and like our channel, subscribe to our channel, Shaping Your New Start. Go check it out right now. Go share this video. Go get some educators. Go tag them in this video because what we are about to discuss is building culture right here. And I can't wait for my special guest to come on here. So, everybody, I want to let you know that you are listening to a podcast that is education, everything about education. And tonight, our podcast is sponsored by We Need More Clouds. We Need More Clouds, a book on blended families written by Lynette Wesley. So check it out, everybody. We need more clouds.com. All right, everybody, we're going into the intro. And thank you so much for listening and so much for viewing. Here we go. Shaping Your New Start podcast. All right. We're live in the place, live in the house. And I want to introduce to you our principal from North Carolina. Everybody, please welcome Mrs. Mangum.
Hello. So good to be here today.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Now, I've made sure to pronounce your name correctly, right?
Yes,
This is Mangum. But, you know, I'm a very big fan of Magnum PI. So, you know, I was teasing about your name. That, you know, does anybody call you that? But you had another name that somebody that your students call you.
You know, a lot of the time in Magnum PI, I get that Miss Magnum, but a lot of my kids call me Miss Mango, like the fruit mango. And so they say, "Hey, Miss Mango." I say, "Hey, baby." You know, I just go right on.
Hey, you know what? I did it too. I did it to my neighbor. We used to call her Miss Peggy, right? Her name was Miss Peggy. But you know, the Muppets came out, and I started calling her Miss Piggy. She was like, "I'm not Miss Piggy," you know.
You said, "No, I'm not that." I'm not that.
I'm not that. Oh wow! So glad to have you on. You know, this is a podcast, education podcast for educators, and we're talking about building culture in your school. How
Yes.
important? Why is it important to build culture in your school?
You know, culture is one of my things. That's a passion of mine because I feel like every school that you go into has to have some type of vibe as soon as you walk in the door. I think that's so important, especially for parents and for students and the stakeholders that you serve. You've got to have a positive vibe as soon as you walk in. I want parents to kind of have that experience as soon as you walk through the door and know my kids are safe. I'm not going to have many issues out of this school. And really, this is a good place for my kids to learn. That's why that culture is so important. And it's good also for your staff members to want to come to school in order to serve kids. So it's important, very important.
You just really brought out the point of hospitality and how important hospitality is. Because you said as soon as they come into your school building, okay,
as soon as they hit the door.
This is a presentation I have done for my schools as well. It is so important to have hospitality. And how do you frame that? How do you really emphasize that to your staff?
You know, Dr. Phil, one of the things that I feel like is crucial for you as a school leader to show and model that first. So when you walk into the school building, what's your posture? As soon as you walk in, what are you doing in order to exude that vibe and that personality? You've got to exude that yourself. And so I think too, we have to model that for our staff members and for our students. I don't come in dragging. It could be a lot of things going on. And we're in a pandemic right now, and we're face to face. And so there are a lot of things that are happening left and right, but I've got to model that and shape it first. Then my staff member, they know how to follow. And so how I even have down to how I answer the phones. Thank you for calling, our school. What can I do for you today? How can I assist you? Making parents feel like their concern is so important that you want to get them assistance right then. And walking in the door, I make sure that I'm speaking to my staff members. I open my mouth and talk to people, and make sure I just have a cheerful mood every time I walk in the door. It's so important for my secretaries. My secretaries, they are so hospitable. I mean, as soon as you come in, they're like almost trying to hug you. Come on in. What do you need? How can we help you today? Those are the types of things I just want people to know. Like the hospitality of a school can really make you or break you, because you can have parents that come in and they already get this negative vibe as soon as they walk in, and that's not good. It's not good for anybody. So hospitality, huge, important, but it starts with you as the leader of that building.
I met the owner for the Rosen Hotels in Orlando, Florida, Sam Rosen.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to a group of us, and he was telling us how important hospitality is in his brand,
Right.
to the point that he has a hospitality school for the people that
Wow.
work for him.
Wow.
And I started to do more study on how important hospitality is. And you're right. I mean, when parents call in or when they walk in, they need to feel that vibe. They're
Mm-hmm.
entrusting their children to your institution.
Yes.
And, whether it's a public school or a private school, even so much more a private school,
Right.
You need to have that vibe, because now you have kids that are, you have parents that are paying, right?
Yes.
So
in private school, they're paying for that experience. They're
yeah,
paying for that. Now, public school, I'm gonna give it to you regardless, because that's what you deserve. But in
right.
a private setting, absolutely, that's even more important.
That's great. So, we've established that hospitality is big towards building culture. So what else are we looking at? Because you really hit the nail on the head. And I feel like we could do a whole podcast on hospitality. I'm
Yes.
telling you straight up, because I go into some places and I'm giving you business, but you're mad at me. Like, why are you mad at me for giving you business?
For giving you business.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
walking in your
Mm-hmm.
building, you're mad at me. And I just don't get it.
That's the mindset, though. This is a business. School is a business, and I have to be about that business of, number one, making parents feel very secure to have their students here. Students feeling like, what, this is an environment where I can just thrive. I'm happy to come to school. And if they're missing that, man, that's hard. That is hard. So hospitality, huge and important. It's got to start with us. Got to start with us from the moment kids walk through the door.
Come on. I love it. And, it's crazy, because if you start hearing teachers shouting all the time and all of that, that kind of takes down the whole positive vibe thing.
Yeah. We don't want that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So what's the next step into building culture?
So a couple of things that I feel like I just want to touch on. I feel as though one thing that I would say, especially, I have kind of like a ABCDs of school culture. And so the A would be to allot some time, and a lot of leaders, I don't know that we're doing this as much, but allot some time in there to build your school social media. I use social media a lot. Brand your school, because nobody can tell that story about your school the way you need it to be told, except for you as a leader and as a school. You've got to take some time and learn how to. My community really likes social media. I have younger parents. I'm an elementary school principal. And so a lot of my parents, they don't really go to on the website to look at everything. They want everything tangible on their phones, and they want to see it on their phones. And so one thing I would say, allot some time to your school social media. What story are you telling your parents? If they know that I can find the information without calling the school and it's already online, that's something too for leaders. You can stop answering as many phone calls as you're answering when information is readily available to you. So use some time on that social media, get on there, tell the story of your school. I think every single day parents know, let me check social media because I know Miss Mangum posts pictures every day about our kids and I show them what they're doing because parents can't be here all the time. And so I say take some time to build that social media with your parents because that's going to be a big bang for your buck. If they can look online, and who doesn't want to see their child on, on Twitter, going through on the school social media, learning in class. So I make sure to make that a part of building school culture. Parents know exactly where to go to get what they need. So utilize social media for your school.
Wow,
That would be
that's
one.
powerful because even as a father, I often just go to the website before I call the school. If
Mhm.
I don't see it on the website, I might call the school just to double check. But
Right.
you are so correct. And you do an excellent job on social media. I've got to
I
say that.
try. I
You're,
try.
you're doing an excellent job on
Thank
social
you.
media, making sure that, we know you're an educator and you really care about your product. You care about your business. And so I agree with you. Social media is a great way to promote your school, to promote the culture, promote
Yes.
positivity. What are they looking at when they go to your website?
And
Uh,
really, too, Dr. Phil, I will say it's also helped with recruitment for teachers. So when teachers are able to see, because we used to do announcements on Facebook Live every single day during the pandemic. And so it gave parents something to do, something to look forward to every morning with their kids. They got up and at 8:30, 8:40, actually 8:41 to be precise,
mhm.
I would be on there doing our school announcements from my desk every single day. Those parents knew as soon as I log in, we're going to have dance party Friday on Fridays and dance party Monday on Mondays. We do, we had science experiments going on. We had some SEL projects that we were doing. And so they knew. But in the end of that, we also got some teachers that were from out of state and from out of the county. They looked at our page and said, oh my gosh, I want to do that. I want to be there at that school.
Wow.
So it also helps with recruiting teachers and recruiting students too because they see what's going on at that school. Parents look at that and they say, well, wait, that's not happening down the street. I want that. I want that for my child. So it does help. That helps to bring that and build that school culture.
I love it. I love it. And sometimes principals may say, "Well, I'm too busy. I have so
Mhm.
much to do." How do you manage that as a principal to ensure that the technology is up to date, that the information on social media is up to date? How do you take that time?
You have to be strategic and you have to be intentional about doing it. I find that in the morning is my time to really kind of ground myself, get myself together, and also get out of my office. You got to get out of the office and take some time. We do walkthroughs as principals all the time, and I know I do a ton of them. But you go into these classrooms, and it's just a snippet to see what the teacher's doing. But during that time, I utilize that time and say, what are the kids doing? Let me just snap a picture of what they're doing. And of course, you want to get approval from parents, but we do that at the beginning of the year because they know, their child might be seen on social media. So you snap a picture while you're in there. It's just being intentional about that. When you go to the cafeteria, you see something fun happening. Snap a picture of kids being kids. And I think too, a lot of my kids, they know the camera's coming. They know it. And my parent might see me online, or, my football coach saw a picture of me the other day, Miss Mangum, that you tweeted out. And it just makes them feel so good. But we have to find time too, as principals and as leaders, to keep that stuff up to date. If you can't do it yourself, why not, find time for someone else in your building? Maybe that's something that you might be able to delegate to someone in your building, like a technology teacher or something. But you know, I do it myself at my school. I'm not sure about other leaders, but I do. I take time each day to make sure that we're telling our story.
Yes, yes. I'm telling you, that is profound, and a lot of people run away from it. But there's training for that. There's,
Mhm.
and I usually offer my, hey, what do you need help with getting that going?
Right.
Let's get that social media presence out there because that's very important,
It's important.
and it makes, in the long run, it makes your job easier. Like you said earlier, if somebody can go to your site and find the answers to the questions,
Right.
then there you have it.
It makes it easier, especially on the front desk ladies when my secretaries are constantly, answering phone calls. And then they'll say, and that's again building culture. They'll say, Miss Mangum, is there a way that you can post X, Y, and Z online so that parents know where to find it? It slipped my mind. Absolutely. I'll go up there and post it. They stop getting calls about that because it's already there. And so again, that's building that culture with your staff, even where they can come to you and say, hey, here's an idea. And you take that and, use it, utilize it. So it does make your job a whole lot easier when things are so easy for parents to find.
Love it. Love it. What else can we do to build culture? Because again, we're looking at, the vibe of our school, the energy
Mhm.
of our school. We're looking at recruiting. We're looking at not only recruiting students and parents, we're also looking at recruiting future teachers that
Mhm.
offer everything that you're looking for. How else can we build our culture?
So I would say too, building school culture, the B I would say is be present in all things. Be present. Be as present as you possibly can. I used to have a mentor that told me the things that you do with kids, do those at work. Paperwork and things like that, try to do that outside of work or find time to do it within your schedule at another time. But when kids are in the building, make sure you are present. And so I would say one thing for me, be present. I have a cart that I utilize. I'm an active principal. I have pre-K through fifth grade, and we've got about 960 kids um, in that range. And so every moment that I am able to, I am on my cart. I'm not in my office. It's a great office. Love my office. But I have a mobile cart that I utilize. And so I push
Ooh,
that cart around. I hook it up with my laptops, my cell phone, all those crucial things that I need. And I don't go back to my office until probably the afternoon. I'm on that cart. They see me. And
ooh.
so that is something that builds culture in our building because they already know, probably don't call Miss Mangum's office. She's not there. She's on the cart or she's on this hall. And communicating that with your staff, be present with them, be in the trenches with them, because it makes a huge difference. Huge difference. I sub in classrooms. We are in person right now. I've had moments where I needed to be in the classroom. Guess what? I push myself in and I do it because there's nothing that I ask my staff to do that I won't do. And they know that about me. Again, that's something that builds culture. When they see you in there, I'm teaching a ELA block. And, I used to teach English when I was a teacher. That's what I taught. So when there's a vacancy or we need someone to do it, I hop right in there. So be present. Be present.
I'm telling you, that is powerful. It's not only for the teachers, but it's also for the students. They just feel different when there's a presence around them, and a
Mhm. And
presence that cares for them.
and that's what I was going to say too. It's different coming into the principal's office when you already know your principal. I used to fear, and I don't know about you, Dr. Fear. I used to fear going to the principal's office.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'd be shaking in my boots if my principal said I had to see you. These students here, they come right on in. They come running in the morning. Miss Ma'am, can I come see your office? I have so many things in my office, but that's because we've built a relationship outside of the office. When parents call, they know there's going to be no tension. I'm in the community, so they know. They know who I am. They know my presence, and so that's how we connect. And be present in the morning. In the morning, my kids come in, and the first thing they do. This is every kid in our building. We come in and we start our day with music. There is music
Mm,
playing as soon as they walk through the door.
wow.
Approved music, music that is good for
That's
kids.
right.
But
That's right.
we have a sound system and we turn it up as soon as you walk through the doorway. It's like
Mm,
Disney World. As soon as you walk in the door, from
wow.
parents that do not even go here, community members, they come in and they say, "Do y'all do this every day?" Oh yes, the energy's like that every day. That's what our kids need. They need that. We have kids that are up there and they dance with me. I stand at the front. They dance with me, their principal. We're sitting there, we're doing dance moves and things. When I need to call them out of class for something that is not, dance related, or they might need some additional support, I call them out and they're like, "Hey, Miss Mangum, it's not a fearful thing." So, just be present with kids.
I like that. I walked into one public school and they were playing "Smile" by Kirk Franklin.
There
I
you
was
go.
like, "What is going on
And
here?"
you're probably like, is this allowed?
Right? Like, can they do this?
Can I do
Okay, I guess they can. There are certain songs that are allowable, but I love that walking into music.
that?
Um, that's right. Intentionally setting the
I
atmosphere.
love that. Intentional.
That's right. Be
It
intentional.
starts
When you're
our
building
kids'
culture, you
day off
have to be.
well. Yes, it starts it off well. They come in and they're breaking the door down to get in the school building. When we started we had open house the first night back, and our superintendent came and he visited our school, and the parents support, because we've been doing, again, we did announcements virtually for a while, and every day I saw their face. They saw my face every day, because you're the face of the school. They need to see you. They need to know you. They need to know your personality. They need to vibe with you as their leader.
Yeah.
And he came and he saw, and it was just so many people here. Are we going to dance now? The first day of school, are we going to dance? And I go, you know it. We're going to dance. Okay, can't wait. Can't
Yes.
wait. So even the parents, they come in dancing. Their day is set when they're dropping their kids off. They're leaving out jamming, going bye. They're just going for it. So, and that's something, it's just a small thing. It's a small thing, but it makes for a huge, impactful, positive day.
Yeah. And that goes into building relationships, as you were talking about.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Absolutely.
we've gotten to the A's, the B's, and what is the C?
The C would be create what you don't see. What you didn't
Ooh.
see as a, create what you don't see. What you didn't see as a scholar when you were in school, create it. If there's not anything out there, create it. Create what you don't see. So in that, like, again, I have dance parties in the morning for my kids. They come in. That is what we do. We do parades for whatever event is. Like, for instance, we did parade for Halloween, and the students, now I don't celebrate Halloween. However, I love a good costume party. So that was a way to incorporate it so that all students can participate, and just be mindful of how you're wording things. If you put things out there like Halloween, you might not have good participation. But if you say
Right.
something like, our school's going to have a costume party, oh,
Yeah.
that's different, because you're putting a different label, or a fall festival or something like that. But we
Festival.
did a
Yes.
we did a parade, and the kids walked down the hall and showed off their costumes. Everybody clapped for them. Now you might say, Miss Mangum, did you take instructional time to do that? That was our SEL for that day. Yes,
There you
yes, I
go.
did. Yes, I did. And
SEL.
every
I love
kid,
it.
that's our SEL for that day.
That's right.
And every kid walked out feeling like, oh man, they clapped for my mom, they clapped for my outfit, they clapped for my costume. And they expect that every single year. That's the expectation. Parents come in, they take pictures, and it might sound extra, but extra is good sometimes. Extra is good.
Extra,
But
extra. Read all about it, right?
read
Yep.
all about it. Yes. Come
Wow.
and read about it. We do things like we do leadership teams for our kids. So we do things like broadcasts. When I was doing our announcements, that's because we were virtual. When we got back to school, we immediately handed it back over to kids. Let the kids do something. Let them have some leadership roles. That's another thing about school culture, is letting some kids have some buy-in to it. They have to buy in. We have a green team. We've got safety patrol that kids do, but letting them have their hands in something. But create things that you don't see. Create opportunities for kids. That's important. That's really important.
I'm telling you, and this is a life lesson, okay? Create what you don't see. A lot of people are trying to fit in to certain atmospheres, fit into certain circles. No, create your circle.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and I've realized that the more people work on themselves, eventually they start attracting people. They're
Right.
like, whoa, okay, this person's starting to do well in school. This person is like,
Right.
is their personality has opened up now.
Right.
Their mindset has changed.
Mhm.
And you'll find that if you start creating, instead of complaining about it, but
Hmm.
you start creating avenues to
Instead of
get where you have
complaining
to
about it.
go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
Um,
was one thing that I had to do even as a new principal. I
yes.
wanted to kind of fit a box and fit what I thought, you know, I see school leadership as, but I quickly found out that I needed to create something different and there needs to be a different experience. And I could have something that I could bring to the table, but at first I was trying to fit in. But like you said, you have to shape a new start. And for me, that new start was getting myself out there, figuring out who I am as a leader and what's my passion as a leader. My passion is building school culture. That's what that is.
I love it. I love it. And that was the first thing that you told me. It said, well, what's your passion? And
Culture.
building school culture. And that's the way to do it. I mean, all of those are critical ways in doing it. And so much lessons come out of that. Building
Yes.
relationships, being present, being available, you know. And
Mhm.
so when people are find you to be easily accessible, their anxiety has decreased.
Yeah.
They
It goes
now
way
find an
down.
opportunity. Yeah, it goes way down. Wow.
If I know that I can see my principal while she's out in the hallway on her mobile cart and I don't have to come into her office to have a whole sit down, it just brings it down. Brings it down.
That's right. Gamal Alexander, my friend, my boy. Use your passion to create
Solution.
solutions
I
to
love that.
problems instead of complaining.
Hmm.
Right. And trust me, I hear a lot of complaining sometimes. You know,
Oh
it's like,
yeah.
and you want to help people, like, okay, well, you know, try to do this, and then they got a complaint for that solution.
Yeah.
Well, try to do that. There's a complaint for that solution. It's like after a while, you know, well, what, how can I help you if you're constantly complaining instead of
Complaining.
creating? So
And
creating is, listen, you're going to see this on a post coming up soon.
I'll tell you, yes.
Creating
Yes.
instead of complaining. And really the
Bring
successful,
solutions.
yes,
Bring
bring
solutions.
solutions. And I find that successful people are people that created a way to overcome their circumstance.
Absolutely.
Everybody has a challenge, everybody has an obstacle,
Mhm.
everybody has an adversity. And, you know, you talk to these young men, you know, you ask them who their favorite basketball player is. Some may say
Right.
Steph Curry, some may say LeBron, right? Some may say Durant. But the reality is, those players always have adversity. They can't be great without the
Always.
adversity, you
Always.
know, without somebody in their face trying
Mhm.
to block them. But Steph Curry can just step back to the mid
Step way
range
back. I
and
mean,
and
and go
and hit
for it
that shot,
and let it go.
let it
Mhm.
go. So, you know, some people have used age as an obstacle. Look at Tom Brady still out there. That's all I'm saying.
Going for it.
And really, I'm
He
not,
going for it.
and I'm not going for Tom Brady. And trust me, I'm a Giant fan.
And I'm
But
a
I
Packers fan,
respect.
so
What fan are you? Who's your team?
I do have to say Green Bay Packers. And I'm from North Carolina, so I would be
Wow,
remiss if I didn't say the Carolina Panthers. I love them too, but Green Bay.
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay.
That's not
Mhm.
bad. That's not
I
bad.
love Aaron Rodgers. Just love him. Love him.
You got him coming up. You got him coming up.
He's talented.
Wow, wow. Okay. Well, listen, I want to thank you for your time, and listen, we want to let everybody know how they can find you. Um, you know, let's talk about your social media. Where can they best find you?
My social media, if you want to follow me, I love new followers. So come on and follow me. It is at the underscore sassy underscore principal underscore. And you can find me there. That is my educator page. All things education I put up there. So
Right.
please come and follow me.
Yeah. Listen, follow her. She has some great posts, great knowledge. What do you use for your posts mostly? What platform are you using?
Canva mostly
Mm-hmm.
is what I
Mm-hmm.
use for my posts. And it's really I really like it. It's really
Yeah.
easy.
I live on Canva.
Do you? Okay.
And especially when you need to get a fast announcement out there, a
Yes.
quick flyer, and it, you
So
know, it
easy to
looks good.
use.
I'm like, I am so glad people have graduated from the Microsoft and
Yeah.
publisher days. Ah,
Yes, I am a huge Canva fan
mhm.
because it's so easy to use and quick to get a template. I love it.
It is.
Love it.
It is. All right, everybody, you heard it live here. This is the Shaping Your New Start Education podcast. I'm here with the sassy principal, Mrs. Mangum, and we're thank you for spending time with us talking about business culture. And again, if you want to see a replay of this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Shaping Your New Start. You'll find us on several platforms for podcasts, from Apple Play to Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. You'll find us there. We want to thank everybody for your participation. Continue to support education wherever you are. Support education, support your educators, support your teachers,
Support.
and we're all in this together. We're all in this together. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week on another episode, Shaping Your New Start Education Podcast. I'm your
Thank
host,
you.
Dr. Phil 2. Thank you.